Oh, wait, I'm gay. Okay, yeah, I'm not. I just like gay porn.
Hello everyone, it is Kristen, also known as Coco on the internet. Welcome to the Quirky Girl Trope, my utopia, where I talk about all things pop culture and media that I am hyper focused on. And today we are talking about the latest craze of the internet, heated rivalry. Rivalry? Damn, why is it so hard to say that? Yes, just like everyone else, I have indeed watched Heated Rivalry, and I have to say I did enjoy the show. There is a lot of talk about this show though, and some of it is very odd. I'm not going to get into it that much, but I am going to get into it a little bit, and the rest of the video is really just about me breaking down season 1, not breaking down, but talking about what I liked about season 1, because I did enjoy this show. It's just we have to have a little bit of a conversation. But before we get into it, please make sure to check out the last video I uploaded, which was me talking about some end of the year watches in 2025, going over my Letterboxd reviews, yapping about movies. And the video before that, I ended up talking about One Tree Hill, the hit teen drama show, the early seasons, and what I feel about all the characters on there. It's going to be a series, so make sure you go ahead and watch the first video in it. And it would be really nice if you would hit the subscribe button, because if you like to hear me yapping, you should hear me yap even more. Let's talk about the silly gay hockey show. Obviously, there are going to be spoilers in this video, so if you have not watched the first season of Heated Rivalry, this is your chance to leave and go and come back and kiki with me later. This show is so interesting to me because it is pulling out antics that I have not seen in a long time, but that's also because this show is doing something we have not seen in a long time. So it's not surprising that we have a little bit of insanity going on about this show. If you have been under a rock and don't know what Heated Rivalry is and you don't care about spoilers, Heated Rivalry is a 2025 sports romance show by way of HBO and Canadian network Crave. The show is created, written, and directed by Jacob Tierney, but adapted from the hockey romance novel Game Changers by Rachel Reed. The show and novel is based around the rivalry between hockey player Shane Hollander, played by Hudson Williams, and Ilya Rozanov, played by Connor Story. Shane is Canadian, so he's the sunshine one, and Ilya is Russian, so he's the grumpy one. The two start off as the highest prospects to enter the major leagues of hockey in 2008, which leads them to battle from the ice to the bedroom once they realize they not only had a spark in sports, but also between the two of them. It all leads to 10 years of a situationship purely based on the physical, while both men keep their sexuality tucked away in fear of the backlash. Both of them meet after games played against each other during the game season, and yes, I did say 10 years. After years of simply being physical, something breaks and the two of them get more close and personal, realizing that the person that once was just a hookup is someone they love. Yet, the big hurdle of acceptance is what stays in their way. For the season, we also get another story of love twisted within the show between hockey player Scott and aspiring art historian Kip. I'm told they have their own book as well, but apparently it's not that good. The two of them meet by circumstance at a smoothie shop Kip is working at. It's an instant attraction. Though with the same secrecy that hinders our other two players, it leads to a breakup, being as Scott would have to keep Kip a secret for years, which was a breaking point for both of them emotionally. After Scott achieves his life goal of winning a championship, everything changes. Scott realizes his love for Kip trumps all. He publicly and bravely declares his love for Kip on the ice, a display seen by all of the hockey world, including our two main rivalry lovebirds. A move that inspires them to finally take that leap and go to the cottage. I do also want to add that this show is simply not just about the romance. You also get to see the different situations that both Shane and Ilya have to go through as queer men, navigating in this space where they have two different realities. Shane is very much more structured, very much more by the book, which is also interesting because Rachel Reed has said that the character of Shane is neurodivergent, so you really get to see how he looks at this world and what he's going through his eyes. And you get to see him navigate having a straight relationship, but dealing with his own queerness. You get to see his family being so structured and seeing how his family is dealing with being so about hockey and being there for him, but absolutely not knowing what he's doing behind closed doors. And in the end, seeing his family accept him. Ilya is on the opposite side. He's very much more bold with how he is, but he has a very toxic family base. His brother is toxic. His dad is toxic. He has to deal with his dad's death after his dad goes through dementia. And we see him having to grieve his biological family, who really was not accepting of him in any way, not even him just being a person who achieved so much. We have to see him embrace a maid family in the way of Shane and his other situationship, Svetlana. We also see friendship dynamics with Kip and his friends and wanting him to be embraced and loved out loud. So we get to see all the other aspects surrounded around these romances that should be just normal things, just should be, two people just falling in love and being okay with falling in love, and society being okay with them falling in love. But in reality, they have to deal with so many old systems and the antics of their families and everything like that, and group with their sexuality. What can I say? As someone who is a part of the book space, I do read a lot. I am not surprised that a hockey romance is taking over. It has had its day on Book Talk, and that's so funny because I do want to talk about a bit of the hysteria going on around this show. Obviously, this is just a typical romance show. It is literally just about two men falling in love, but obviously it's a little bit more complex because it's two men at the forefront. And as I just said, it is full of old institutions, homophobic family. It is the exact thing that queer folks have to experience through life most of the time. But it's something different about this show. And the difference is it is not holding back when it comes to the physical romance of the show. And for some reason that has really gagged a lot of people, even though I guess if you want to call it spicy, you can call it spicy. It is hot. It is, I cannot deny it is hot, but the way people are acting it's kind of interesting to me. And I wonder exactly what are they consuming. So before I get into my thoughts on the show, the characters, the chemistry, everything that I thought about season 1, I do want to talk about the conversation around this show, because I am not only confused, I am also disturbed, I am also worried. And this is a pop culture kiki channel, so I don't really get into drama and antics, but I do think that what is going on around this show has to do with the fact that this show was not only needed, but I do think that this show is a representation of what we've been missing within the media world, and it is a cause to why the craziness around the show is happening. So before I get into my breakdown of what I thought about the season, let's talk about the hysteria around this show. And to do that, I am going to break down into categories the type of fandoms and watchers that are talking about heated rivalry. This is important because it shows what this program is doing and what is highlighting that we have not seen in a very, very long time. So we're going to do a bit of a diagram. We're going to go from right to left because there are just too many extremes happening. In the spectrum of heated rivalry, there is too much going on. There's too many things in this equation. So we are going to literally break down the hysteria of the fandom or the fan base that is accumulating around this show. As someone who has a past in fandom and stanness, I feel like my fully developed frontal lobe, even though sometimes it's older people doing what I'm going to talk about, I just feel like I'm able to come to the table and tell everyone, hey, let's not. So yeah, let's see if we can break this down.
No one's fun anymore. Whatever happened to fun? God.
So let's start off nice and easy. In the middle, there's just normal people who watch this show. I am that. There are normal people who saw this show. They liked the romance genre. They saw it was getting a little spicy. Then they saw it was giving a whole entire journey, a whole entire story. And they were like, okay, yeah, I like this. I like the chemistry. I like the way that they're filming the show. I like the direction they're going, especially after going to the cottage. I'm gonna keep watching it. Those are the people in the middle. Those are normal people watching Heated Rivalry. Then we go to the far right. The far right are the people heading down Parasocial Avenue. No, they are not going to Pretty Girl Avenue. They're going straight past Pretty Girl Avenue and they are going to Parasocial Avenue. They are stalking the actors at this point. They are looking into their relationships, stalking their relationships when they find out that they're in relationships, stalking their partners, speculating about their sexuality in real life. These people are also not able to grasp the concept that this is in fact a show, and they are taking the lengths to go to actual hockey games and treating it as if it is a part of this show, holding up signs saying kiss, I can feel the sexual tension. Those are the folks on Parasocial Avenue. They are taking it way too far. They're taking it outside of the show, and that's just never good. I know some people I've seen on TikTok and on my timeline on Twitter have definitely explained that, oh, this has happened before. You know, we've seen it with Twilight. We've seen it with One Direction. There is a huge difference in between those times and these times. Not that it wasn't crazy. I mean, One Direction girls were definitely doing the most. Me as a former Twihard, I want Robert Pattinson to bite me. Maybe I did. Another example is Love Island. The Love Island craze from season 7. It has been insane. But the difference is these spaces are way more heightened. Everything is way more surveillanced. Everything is way more intense. Everything is way more accessible. It is a very much more different environment than back then. Basically, the difference between fandoms now and fandoms then is that they used to go outside. Now when it comes to fandoms, they are on the internet 24/7. They have no break from it. This is their lives. There used to be extremists, the ones, you know, stealing dental work and hunting people down through security cameras. And then there used to be normal people, and most of those extremists stayed in their little space on their little creepy crawler space on the internet. Today, that's not what's happening. It is everywhere. It is everywhere all at once, and it is extremely mainstream. Before, where it felt like you had to really be a part of the mix and still also have a life for people to not think that you were losing grasp of reality. So the girls on Parasocial Avenue, please, they need to calm down. They're doing the absolute most. They literally are trying to wear these people's skin at this point. And it's only been a couple months. I think you kind of need a grip. Honestly, I'm also going to include the hysteria of the media in this side, in the Parasocial Avenue. Last night, I definitely watched the Critics' Choice Awards, and on the carpet, they asked about 10 people, have they watched Heated Rivalry? To the point where they were asking anybody. I mean, they were asking Jeff Goldblum. Jeff Goldblum? Why are you asking Jeff Goldblum if you watch Heated Rivalry? And then like talking about the spicy scenes instead of talking about these people's work. Like, it is, I don't know what this show unlocked in people's brains, but it unlocked that unhingedness that we have not seen since a lot of huge casted things. I see a new Ilya Avi every other day, and they are causing some type of take that is just nasty. I don't know. It's just really, it's a lot going on. I mean, just in the last week, I've seen them battling each other. I've seen them incite racist tweets about the cast members. Like, it's just really, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on over there at Parasocial Avenue. So they're at the far right. I don't know if you can believe this, but it's gotten worse in the time that I've recorded this video and as I'm editing it. Baby, it's gone from people getting accused of racism because they don't think that everyone's performance is the same strength, to now we have fandoms for Hudson Williams who have completely taken over, it seems, the heated rivalry of it all. And they have not only made it very uncomfortable to enjoy him as a performer, but now it's incited people to have hate towards him. So they've been exposing things about him to not only add to the fact that they believe that he's a bad actor, but they also found his old Letterboxd account, which out of all things is just a nothing burger. I mean, anybody can have their opinion. A Letterboxd is a Letterboxd. It is literally an opinion. It's kind of strange that he kept that up because he wants to work with people. He probably just didn't think that this show would pop off the way that it was, and he was normal a few months ago. Them finding that just is a nothing burger. He did critique people, but critique is critique. Like, I'm critiquing this show, like people have been critiquing this show. The only weird thing I'm seeing with that is him having a very odd take about Lolita, and he gave Nope a half star. Oh, but otherwise than that, the other things are opinions. I mean, he has shit taste, but otherwise than that, I can't really penalize him for that. But I find it funny that people are penalizing for him. So now there's like a war against heated rivalry, which I'm going to talk about people hating against heated rivalry in a second. But there's also within the fandom them doing this infant thing with the two boys now. It's I don't know how, it's just grown even more weird over the week. Honestly, we need to nip that in the bud because I can see the actors getting very, very uncomfortable. I can see it kind of ruining the whimsy of the show because you watch Hudson and Connor, who do play Ilya and Shane, and they have a really good time in their interviews and their press, and I feel maybe they would hold things back if they realize just how insane this fan base is getting about them, to the point where they think they're their actual, like they're in a relationship in real life and they're a part of the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of weird what's happening, and so I hope it doesn't disturb them, and that's why I need to put them over there on the far right and tell them to calm down. Then we can go all the way to the left. Yes, I'm clocking everybody today. We can go all the way to the left, and over there I have what I like to call the over intellectual Squidwards. These are the people complaining about, why is everyone talking about this show? If it was other people, you wouldn't even like this show. Why is it that, why are so many people watching the show? Why is this person watching the show? Why is that person watching the show? Oh my God, can my timeline not talk about this show? What's so important about that show? Very much whining like Squidward. And honestly, it just boils down to them needing to get the stick out of their ass. First of all, if you don't want to see anything on the internet, you do not have to see it. You can literally just log off, or you can block words and block everything and try to get your algorithm fixed. But also, it's just, why can't people have fun? Why can't we have fun, especially in these times when things are getting worse and worse every day? Why can't people watch their little silly gay hot hockey show? And if I really wanted to be that girl, if I really wanted to snatch y'all up a little bit, it would really be that y'all just hate anything that certain people enjoy. If women enjoy it, if queer folk enjoy it, y'all just really hate it sometimes, and it's very obvious, especially when it comes to the romance genre. That's why I'm really doing this whole breakdown of the talk around this show. The thing that I think this show is bringing out is kind of what I think this genre brings out of people in general. They think it's silly, they think it's unnecessary, and honestly, I think that's the reason why the industry has gotten so boring. The film industry, the TV industry, it's gotten so boring because everything has turned into this serious sci-fi, futuristic, political science base, and we've forgotten about romance. We've forgotten about romance and being hot and having fun and being sexy and just looking good. And yeah, you know, I want to watch them be in the shower looking at each other. Like, they forgot how to have fun. So I don't rock with the Squidwards as well. They're on the far left. They think that they are above this show, and it's really just you either like it or you don't. And if people like it, let them like it. Let them have fun. And I also feel like it's low-key like aunties and uncles now, because low-key we unks now. I'm entering Hag Hive. I am Hag Hive now. And we had our Twilights and our little sexy romance shows already, and so now that I feel a lot of the older folks who were in that element, who were crazed out fans over things like this when they were teens, are now low-key hating on the younger girls enjoying their heated rivalry. Let the kids have fun. Let them have fun. So Squidwards, y'all also need to relax. Then we're gonna hop to like the middle right. The middle right are the baby brain watchers. I enjoy heated rivalry. I am going to get into it today. I think that the show is starting off really, really great. I think that Jacob Tyranny is doing a really good job of taking the source material, which I hear is not that good, and making it into this very beautiful queer love story on so many ends in so many different ways. But we do have to understand that there is a difference between Moonlight, Brokeback Mountain, and heated rivalry. Some of y'all are getting a little bit too, it's like, I don't know if this is your first time consuming anything romantic and anything with a little bit of depth, because the takes that I am seeing about this show is a little bit much. Now, I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I enjoy it. I think the chemistry is great. I think the stories are great. But we are not watching a high level of media. Y'all need to calm down. I even think somebody said that this was better than Brokeback Mountain. Like, come on. Y'all got to be for real. I feel like this part of the conversation is really shown when it was announced that heated rivalry could not be eligible to be an Emmy winner or be in the Emmys because it's a Canadian show or a foreign show technically. And people were like, oh, this is insane. This is a hate crime. This is nasty. And I'm just like, did y'all really think that heated rivalry was going to win an Emmy? And mind you, another show that they're comparing it to, Interview with a Vampire, I think is beyond when it comes to writing, beyond when it comes to how that show looks. And they don't even have anything. They don't even get any crumbs. And you think that heated rivalry was going to get it before them? It's like, we have to come down to reality. Like, we have to chill. I feel like, yes, I love this show. It is good, but we have to chill. We have to be realistic for a little bit. I understand that heated rivalry is really hitting for some people, but I do think that it is weird that people are not allowing others to have opinions about this show, that sometimes they don't like everything. And when I see somebody voice that they don't like everything, they're nearly doxing people. They're nearly putting down the guillotine when somebody has something to say that isn't just, oh yes, like this is the best media ever. Like, every time when somebody has something to say about this show that is not immediate praise, there's a whole bunch of accounts that are now fans of the show almost talking down to them like they're stupid and they don't understand, or they're homophobic or racist. And I'm just like, okay, like, I think people can have opinions about the show, but because we have a literacy problem, I think that it is showing that a lot of people don't know how to talk about media and consume a show that they feel attached to anymore. I feel when there was shows like this or movies like this, we could have conversations about them in such a huge way. Now there's no gray area, so no one can really have conversations about anything without thinking that one critique is you completely hating it. So baby brain watchers to me are people who cannot have a conversation about this as a full piece, as a full journey, as a full piece of media. They literally just want you to say, oh, they're hot, this is it, this is the only thing on TV, this is the only thing that exists, it's better than Brokeback Mountain, it's better than this, it's better than that. And it's like, girl, no. But I like the show. I'm not gonna be delusional about the show. Like when Squidwards tell me this is shit media, I'm saying I never thought that it was giving. I'm over here like I never thought that it was giving highbrow. I'm watching two men have sex. I'm watching two men be intimate with each other and show romance. I also feel like straight folks are being weird about this show as well. Not all of them. I do think there are a certain amount of straight people who are watching this show and they are trying to make it about them and they are trying to relate to the characters so bad instead of just consuming what we are being given as a queer story. And I also think that's weird. So I don't know if they would be in Parasocial Avenue or like Baby Brain Watchers, but I don't think you have to watch something and relate to it at all. Like it's nice if you do, but I do think some straight people are low-key trying to make this show about them and make it a part of them. And I'm just like, why can't you just watch? Why can't you just watch? Why can't you just watch? Why does it have to have something for you? I don't think a lot of y'all have to sit here and make this show a conversation centered around you when the show is literally about two men falling in love, and that's okay. Like you don't have to be the center of attention all the time. Now we're going to the middle left, and these are the big brain watchers, which kind of link into what I was saying about the Squidwards. But for the big brain watchers, I don't need you to break down scenes from this show. They are writing full essays about how this show was implementing this but not implementing that. I don't need a full, it's just a show about people falling in love, and for some reason society is so stupid that they can't accept people doing what they want to do in the bedroom, and they have to maneuver that while playing hockey. It is that simple. Here is where you get a lot of hypotheticals instead of enjoying that we have a TV show like this and it is hitting the mainstream as hard as it is showing men in this type of way. They're making a bunch of hypotheticals. Well, if it was this, you wouldn't be enjoying it. If it was two black men, black women wouldn't be enjoying it. If it was this, y'all wouldn't be enjoying it. And then you bring up the fact that there has been media that people have enjoyed, or there is media out there that shows this, but it's been canceled and people haven't had any interest in it, and then it's quiet. It's taking something that is so simple, which is like this show, and making it seem like it's something more deeper. They are making it seem like the baby brains have a ounce of things to stand on, when this show is just a purely simple romance smut-filled show. Yes, it has some elements that are a little bit more deeper, but it's not hurting anybody. It's literally not hurting anyone watching this show. Why are we having this intellectual conversation about a hockey show that is romantic and is just two men being hot with a little bit of commentary about what they're going through in their own lives and throughout their league? And that is why I believe this hysteria is showing us how bad we needed romance back in society. We needed romance media back in society. We have kind of seen it happen towards the end of 2025. Not the materialist, not the materialist, okay? But things like Eternity, things like Heated Rivalry, for me, is showing, number one, it's a recession indicator. And number two, it is what the people needed. It's what woke the people back up. I have no idea why people are confused at why Heated Rivalry is doing what it's doing with this spectrum. It's doing it because we forgot about romance. We forgot about romantic shows. We forgot about romantic movies, rom-coms. All of it has been pushed to the back. I think we went from a very heavy sci-fi era where everything was an alien, I'm going to space movie. Then we got to that Get Out, everything is social, political. Not that I don't like that type of thing, but I do think that it used to be more of a balance, and everyone got so serious to the point where we literally stopped getting rom-coms. That's why so many people are thirsty for it. We stopped getting silly things. We stopped getting young adult things. We stopped getting hot things. Everything just started to go dim. And now that we're getting things like heated rivalry, people are shocked, but it's like, you fed the beast. The beast have been waiting in the corner. I think people have completely underestimated not only people who enjoy romance, but they have underestimated the fanfic culture. There is a whole genre of people who have been waiting for romance to come back and this type of media to come back, and now it is. Even if you want to look at shows like Adults or I Love LA, these are things that we have wanted. Just shows telling stories about people having experiences and it kind of not being that deep. And we're back in a recession, baby. Everybody wants to have fun. Yes, I want to see them have fun and get romantic and go through these things together and just feel like I'm kicking my feet and squealing. That's what I want to feel, and that is what Heated Rivalry has woken up, and that's why we have this hysteria. And honestly, if I have to take the good with the bad, that's what I'm gonna do, because I enjoy this show and we're gonna talk about it. So let me talk about my general thoughts on the show. I had no idea about the book. I did not read this book. I don't know about this book. I don't know about this author. I have read hockey romances in the past, and yes, I have enjoyed them. So when I heard about this show, I was pretty much just like, I'm just gonna see what it was about. And I'm gonna be honest, after the first episode, I did not think I was gonna keep watching this show. Not because I don't enjoy the hotness of this show. This show is very hot. This show is hot. Baby Connor's story is hot. They have chemistry that cannot be denied. I do have to say that. But I am somebody who needs a balance, okay? I was talking about the Squidwards and the baby brains. I am a combination. I need to have a combination of depth, and I need a combination of just things being cute and fun and hot. And for me, that first episode felt very child's play. I just was very confused on why we had a 20-minute sex scene, but we went through 50 years. It felt like in the timeline. I was just so confused at where the show was going in episode 1. I felt the chemistry, I felt the rivalry, but I just was so confused at how this show was going to pull me in. So I was not convinced in episode 1. Episode 2, I was a little bit locked in. Because I was interested to see them keep on the antics of having a situationship, but I still felt like, okay, everything is just sex centered. When are we going to get to the meat and the potatoes? And that happened for me in episode 3. From episode 3 and on, I was completely locked into the show. I think that once you get past the first 2 episodes, you really see what journey you're going on. And I think without the Scott and the Kip of it all, this show does not really work for me. And I know some people have a problem with people liking Scott and Kip because apparently their book is terrible. But I do think without their story and without that moment of getting a comparison to what Ilya and Shane have, it does not work. So yes, I needed convincing to continue the show, and by episode 3 into episode 4, I knew that I was going to keep watching the show, and I was definitely ready for the next season because I knew from episode 3 exactly what this show was doing, and it was doing a build, but not real. Like, it was doing a slow build, but in a very interesting way, in multiple ways. And I really, really enjoyed that. And I thought it was smart writing. I think that this show does the grumpy sunshine of it all very, very well. And I will tell you, I am not a person who enjoys grumpy sunshine. I don't, unless it is the femme character in the story being the grump. I usually do not like it. But Connor plays Ilya so well. And this is also the reason I don't like enemies to lovers, is I don't like for my enemies to lovers or my grumpy sunshine to feel like the person actually hates them. I like for it to feel like love hate, like, yeah, I'm acting like I hate you, but I really do want you. And Connor does that very well playing Ilya. I never felt like he truly hated Shane from the beginning. Even episode 1, when they're doing their little promos and everything, they never feel like they truly hate each other. It just feels like an admiration, but my ego is too much to say anything. Very Mr. Darcy, you know? I like my grumps to be very Mr. Darcy coded, and I enjoyed this very much. I enjoyed how it didn't seem like they really hated each other. I also enjoyed the contrast between Ilya and Shane compared to Scott Scott and Kip. Scott and Kip were locked in from the beginning, and it's a very natural romantic story compared to Ilya and Shane, where it's more so we just banging and guess what? Now I like you. Now I love you. That's why I feel like we can't have this show work without Scott and Kip's story. I mean, obviously, because that's how we get to the cottage. I also want to say I enjoy that this show is not gimmicky when it comes to gay romance. I don't know if I worded that right, but I hope I did. Usually when I watch queer media, I feel like a lot of the times they make a mockery of the romance that's happening. You always kind of see the gay romance in the show not having intimate moments, but sort of always being these quick bang things. And I love the small moments in this show. I love the foot touching. I love the staring at one another. I like the laying the head on the chest. It's very intimate. There are intimate things. Scott looking at Kip and saying, "You're beautiful." I enjoy things like that in this show. It makes it feel intimate. It doesn't make it seem like they're just doing this to do it. It feels like this is actual romance because they're actual people. Like, I'm sorry that men can love men and it can be normal. Like, that's exactly what I enjoy about this show. Yes, they can be nervous around each other. Yes, they can be giggly about each other. I absolutely love that part of the show because I feel when we've gotten things in the past, it's the complete opposite and they kind of make it a mockery. And this felt like I'm watching a romance show and it ain't weird. And I love that. And obviously the meat and the potatoes of the show are the two main leads. We have Shane Hollander, who is just the sweetest little thing. Honestly, I enjoyed my journey with Shane. I was a little bit confused at first how Hudson was playing Shane, but we were informed about a couple of episodes in that Rachel Reed did confirm that Shane is on the spectrum, and it makes sense. As someone who is neurodivergent, I related to Shane in many ways. The biggest call out being them burgers. And Ilya said, "You don't have to make all 8 burgers." And Shane was like, "But that's what the recipe says." Me, literally me. I love how it seems these characters have their own personalities. They don't blend in together once they really get romantic. They're so clearly Shane and Ilya, and you really get that throughout the whole entire season. You build up to that. Once you get to that cottage, it feels like you're watching two friends really have their moment. I do enjoy Shane. I think Shane is just the sweetest little thing. I like seeing Shane gain confidence, but here's the thing, I don't think Shane ever gave that he didn't have confidence. I just think he's nervous. He's kind of nervous sometimes, and that's okay. And I liked seeing that in him. I like him kind of realizing it's okay for him to stand in who he is. He's so confident when it comes to sports, when it comes to hockey, when it comes to business, when it comes to real estate, but when it would come to romantic interactions or friend interactions, he would seem so nervous. And to see him build that because of the people who poured it into him, like Ilya or Rose, I love that for him. I do enjoy Shane. Baby, we also have to call a thing a thing. Shane, you was never giving friends with benefits. You know when you like somebody and you're like, yeah, I can do friends with benefits. Girl, Shane was never giving that. He was always gonna fall in love with Ilya. Loki, I feel like he fell in love the moment he saw him shuck a hockey puck. He was never giving. He was just gonna be okay with friends with benefits. It always gave he wanted a relationship. I do enjoy the one moment though where he kind of tries to act like he can't take it and, you know, he's gonna be the one that leaves first and Ilya gets a little pissy at it. I do enjoy that very much. But Shane, we knew what it was. Like low-key, when you was dating Rose, I knew exactly what it was. Now, Ilya, I enjoy him. Like I said, I enjoy the way that he was grumpy. I never thought that he hated anybody. I always felt like, you know, he's just grumpy and he's Russian. That's just how he acts. I never felt like he truly was a sinister person. And I feel like that's where the enemies to lovers grumpy thing gets a little blurry for me. Why are you actually being a terrible person? That's not what I got from Ilya. I got that he was a great person, but he was just a little hard around the edges and Shane ended up cracking it. And that's what I enjoy about this show. Connor's story is hot. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. From the moment he hits the screen, he is everything that you dream of when you read a book with a man like this. And I love that he eats it so well. The Russian is so good. The way that he knows how to be grumpy, but still have a little heart inside of himself. I really enjoyed Connor Story's performance in this. It's probably my favorite. I know. The girl said you can't say that, but I do enjoy Connor's performance a little bit more. But I don't think it comes down to who's doing better. I just think it comes down to who's really doing a lot more skill. To know that man is from Texas, like straight up American, and he is doing a Russian accent that sounds authentic. It doesn't sound like he's trying to do an accent. He's also speaking full Russian. And also, I heard that he had to do it in a few weeks. Are you kidding me? It's giving very skilled. He was going beyond to make sure that Ilya felt like a full rounded character, and I enjoyed it so much. I also enjoy the back and forth between Ilya's family and what he's doing with Shane, and also being a hockey player. I think that emotional element really did ground Ilya's character, which, speaking of the family of it all and the women of the show, going back to how the straights are trying to make this show about them, and how a lot of women are saying, oh, the women in the show are definitely like, this is made also for women. No, it's not. It's definitely not. But I do think that I enjoyed seeing the women be a part of their lives, because usually that is a part of queer people's story, that they are having these interactions with a lot of femmes, and they are usually there helping them in some ways. If I had to say I'm relating to people in this show, it would definitely be Rose, that theater camp line. Yeah, I've had so many gay boyfriends. I've had so many gay boyfriends and never once outed any of them. So yeah, I am giving Rose down. But I don't think that the girls really overcrowded what was happening with this show, and I really like that, and I hope they keep it that way. I really want this show to stay centered on the boys and their romance, and Scott and Kip and their romance. I enjoy the other parts of the show really just being on the side. How many times have we gotten a full ensemble and the queer folks get put to the back? Like, I am okay with them being little guiding points to get them to where they need to be in the story, and that's what I felt like these characters were. So happy they didn't do the most with Rose, but I did enjoy the Rose part of the show. I'm not gonna lie. Rose and Shane end up dating, and Rose is a famous actress, and I loved the editing when it came to Rose and Shane. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the show too, to see the tweets of everyone and the comments of everyone, and it sounding exactly like fan culture. They ate that for me. I enjoyed it very, very much. Also, the edits are eating. The edits for this show are eating. I enjoy them very much. I do think y'all need to edit Troye Sivan stuff a little bit more with this show. Specifically, Still Got It. I need that song edited with this show, because I think that it fits it perfectly. I need more Troye Sivan edits of the show, not just Rush, even though the Rush edit is famous and it is iconic. Now look, I have to be true, there are things in this show that make me cringe. One of those things when it concerns the women of the cast is definitely Elena, Kip's friend, saying, girl, I hope that's not how she is in the book, baby, because that was annoying me so bad, because Kip is just being completely normal. She's saying girl, and she's just like, dude. That's where I'm like, who's, like, is this from the book? Because it's giving, the way y'all talk about how bad the book is, it gotta be given that's from the book, because who's talking like that? None of me and my queer friends, we saying, when I say girl, you saying dude. What's happening? Another cringe moment, Rose, like, low-key trying to finesse a threesome with her friend Miles and Shay. Like, what was that whole thing about in the club? Like, and she kept on pushing Miles on him. I mean, she must have felt that he was gay a little bit, but like, what was they doing? What was they trying to do with that? And seeing Shane so uncomfortable, I'm like, girl, can't you peep? Can't you peep that he uncomfortable? I don't know. That was a little, what was going on with that? What was Miles on? I feel like Miles must have popped something and he was sweating because there's no way. But Lana is fab, honey. I loved how she loved Shane. And I love how she kept teasing Ilya, knowing damn well he was not texting no girl. She knew exactly who Ilya was texting. I love how we got to see multiple ways on how stepping in your truth can lead, especially with the people around you. And I enjoyed that it had different aspects. How Kip was just someone living their life, living their truth, a gay man living their life. And his dad accepted him, his friends accepted him, and he lived openly and happily. And obviously Scott had to understand that he was not willing to compromise that, as he shouldn't. And then you see Ilya, who has a family who is the complete opposite. He is in a family that is very strict and all about Russia and all about order and not embarrassing the country and not embarrassing the family, and his brother never liking him because he sensed that queerness, because his brother sure did drop the F slur. Oh, I couldn't stand Ilya's brother. Oh my God. Like, imagine asking somebody for money to fund your life and you talking to them crazy like that. I just could not understand it. I could not understand. The moment Ilya had to yoke him up, that's when I knew. I said, exactly. I've been waiting for this moment. And I love how Svetlana stayed by his side and was strong about staying by his side. And that's where I feel like there's a difference in showing what can happen when you step into your truth. Because you have Kip, who's completely out and okay with being out and has his family and his tribe. And then you have Svetlana and Ilya. His biological family is not accepting of him, treats him like crap, but he has a family member to the point where he knows that she would even marry him to help him stay in the lifestyle that he wants to be in. And then you have Shane's family, who had to process what they thought their son was, but still accept him and be there for him and care for him and not see their son differently. And obviously showing that example to Ilya as well, because he was definitely comfortable eating that pasta compared to him being around his own family. And I just thought that dynamic and showing the differences is why this show ended up hitting for me. Honestly, this show felt very, very personal and had very strong point of views, and that's why it works in the end. I also think that this show, minus the Parasocial Avenue girls going up to the hockey games and acting out, I'm thinking things have definitely changed a little bit. We're living in 2025. Like, it's not 2008 when this show starts. But to know that the league, the actual hockey league, is still not accepting of a lot of things is insane. And to see this show cause such hysteria and the league almost try to use it as promo, but not actually take on what the show is doing, I think that's very interesting. And I like how they're making a spectacle of it in the show. The fact that Scott was able to get on the ice, win a championship, call his man down and kiss him on national TV, and the commentators not really gag that much and still go to an award show and still be able to do what they do and kind of make it a change in the narrative. I like that aspect a lot. I think that it just has a very, very strong point of view, and that was really nice for me because I was scared. I'm not gonna lie, first 2 episodes I was scared, but by the end I was hooked and ready. I just have a lot of favorite moments of this season. Definitely when they do the Olympics, I love that part. I love them sitting at the bar and Ilya being in his Hawaiian shirt and Shane being dressed up and him watching Ilya at the pool and thinking, wait, do I want to have kids with this man? I enjoy, but there's more icks. I think that you can watch a show and enjoy it and still have icks. The scene with them being at the cottage, Ilya and Shane playing games, and his member calls him on the phone to talk about their newborn daughter, and Ilya for some reason decides they give me head, don't be scared. I don't know what that was. It gave very much smut books. It gave the books that this book is derived from. I don't know if we needed that, but that was interesting. But then, see, I can't complain too much because then we get the lake scene and Ilya is being cute and saying, give me gifts. Like, it's just really cute things going going on in the midst of the ridiculousness, and I truly enjoy that. And then to end off on such a sentimental, great moment of Shane's mom and his dad accepting him and planning things for him and not wanting him to hide. I thought that was absolutely beautiful. I cried so hard when his mom said, "Please forgive me for making you feel like you could not tell me." I think everybody should hear that. Every parent should be on that type of timing, because, it's just giving, he didn't ask to be here. And for him to feel sorry about just being himself, that was so sad. That was so sad. And to have her really embrace him and be there for her son, it was cute. And to watch Ilya really say, "Oh, your boyfriend is here, your parents are here, everybody's okay," that was just really the cottage episode is the best episode for me. I enjoyed it so much. It was so good. And the Scott and Kip of it all, it just all felt like it went into one beautiful little story. Low-key, it felt as if they wrote like they were only going to get one season, because if it only had one season and it ended the way it was, I would be okay with it. It was just a beautiful journey, and I really, really liked it. I don't think we have to be delusional about it. I don't think we have to be parasocial about it. We can just say we found 2 new stars, multiple stars, because the whole cast is good, and we had a really good time watching it. It was sexy, it was fun, it was squealing, it was jumping around. It was just really, really nice. And I don't think we have to be weird about it. And I don't think we have to be delusional about it. But I think we can just have fun. Have fun. This show was so fun to watch. I had so much fun. I enjoyed it. I can't wait for season 2. There's just certain scenes throughout the show that cement why this means so much more than just them humping and being sexy. And I think that's where the heart of the show is, and where it's gonna work really, really well. That's why the first episode scared me, because I thought, oh, this is all it's gonna be. That's it. It's just hot. It's just sexy. And then no, it just really, it does those. It doesn't until the end, like any other romance book. But it definitely does touch at your heart, and it has really, really great acting at some point. That scene where Ilya tells Shane that he loves him in Russian, and he goes on his long monologue about how he hates being at home and hates that his family hates him. That was so good. That's when I knew, okay, this show is saying something and it's doing something, and it's not just about relationships. It is about having connections with people in so many ways, and it's so intimate and so sweet. It felt like I was reading a romance book and getting familiar with these characters in the way that you're supposed to the point where when you're at the end, that ending, that epilogue, it feels like, okay, like this is my couple. And that was so refreshing to see, because usually the romance that we get in the modern age, it is trying to do something else. It's trying to be way too much. It's trying to be way too over analytical. And instead of treating it like just silly, good romance that makes you giggle, romance that makes you nervous, romance that makes you connect with somebody, they usually try to make it a hard thing. And falling in love is not hard. It's not hard. Like, and I love that part about this show. Like, you're gonna have hardships and little things, but like before you know it, you're already falling. And that's what we got to see with Shane and Ilya, and that's why it was so good, and that's why it's eating everyone up. So yeah, I enjoyed Heated Rivalry. I need people to be a little bit less crazy. I need people to just simply enjoy it, be happy that we got something that's good. We got good romance food. And I am excited to see what Connor does in the new fame of his life. I'm excited to see what Hudson does with the new fame in his life, because they're really also funny in real life and very charming in real life as well. I've been watching a lot of the press, and I think they are going places. I'm so excited to have a new thing of pop culture. I think now, like, this is a thing now, and I'm very happy about it. And I'm happy that a lot of queer folk are getting able to have media that is popular and people are enjoying again. Like, it's so good to see, and I'm so happy. And I had so much fun watching season 1, and I feel like TV is getting so good again. Loki is taking it more than film for me right now. I'm not gonna lie, but that's been the last couple of years. So yeah, I'm excited HBO took a chance on this as well, because I the pain I feel when I think about Generation, which was my queer show that HBO did, to know I have one that I think is going to last now, I'm very excited about it, and I'm very happy that we get to have it. So yeah, that is my takes on Heated Rivalry. Let me know down below what you enjoyed about the show. But yeah, I will see you all in the next one. As always, stay cute, stay quirky. I will see you in the next video. I forgot to mention Ilya and the loon.
What the fuck was that? A loon?
That also was one of my favorite parts.